Alright, quick update on KNC. So, a lot of altcoins, Bitcoin included, have started to roll back down over the past couple of hours. I'll show you why in a moment, but if we do come over to the 1 hourly time frame on Bitcoin, you can see we've just broken down from an end pattern and we are heading down in terms of momentum. It is the exact same that we're seeing on KNC right now. If we come over to the hourly time frame, you can also see we've just broken down from an end pattern, but unlike Bitcoin, we don't even have the strength to retest this. So KNC is still looking very bearish. I've been sitting on the sideline for KNC for quite a long period of time now. We initially got into KNC at $3. We sold, I believe, once the 4 hourly flipped bearish, somewhere around about here, we sold at like $5. And since then, I've been sitting on the sidelines and we're now down at $2. So if I ever do plan on getting back in on a trade on KNC, we're going to be buying from a massive discount from our last trade. But let's really microdose what's going on at this moment in time. So during today's peak, you can see we actually came up, back tested your 200-day moving average, and you've started to head down. The daily EMA ribbons have just fired bearish. This is a very, very nasty macro signal. And a lot of the time I notice, maybe not specifically on KNC, let's microdose that. So we actually came back and back tested it here. We came back and back tested it here. We came back and back tested it here. So more often than not, you actually surprisingly get pumps up to the bearish crosses. And I guess this makes sense because after flipping bearish, sometimes we want to test and we want to see whether we are actually, choosing these as a resistance point, and most of the time we do, and what we do is we then go down and make new lows. So it's a very double-edged sword right now. In my opinion, we're either going to come up and then head back down to make new lows, or in the lower time frames we're going to break down to make new lows. And it seems like, at least in my opinion, I think the breakdown in the short term is more likely. Now, like I said, lower time frames, Bitcoin is breaking down. Now, why is Bitcoin breaking down at this moment in time? And I mean specifically in the past 2 hours, and also why is KNC following? Well, I know KNC traders, altcoin traders probably do not care at all about what is going on in the stock market, but the fact of the matter is the stock market has just opened and you've got blue chip stocks once again, like Airbnb, you've got Netflix breaking down into new lows. Coinbase is down 12% today. And look at the 4 hourly bearish volume coming into this. This is really, really not a good sign for the crypto markets. Tesla is breaking down into new lows right now. I'm not going to go through every stock considering this is a KNC video, but it's very important to know that in the macro time frame, Bitcoin can still come down to 29,000. And what does the stock market coming down, what does Bitcoin coming down have to do with KNC? Well, if the stock market's going to come down, Bitcoin's going to come down. If Bitcoin's going to come down, Bitcoin's probably going to come down to 29,000. If Bitcoin's probably going to come down to 29,000, that probably means your bottom is not in for KNC. So honestly, we're literally in this huge accumulation range. We really don't have much to come down to at this moment in time other than this huge accumulation range. We've got a plethora of support on KNC, and I personally really don't see us dropping much below $1 if we even do make it down that far. But the fact of the matter is, bears are still in control, and I really don't think sitting on the sidelines for the next couple of days is going to be the worst idea. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting on the sideline for everything. I have been saying in my Discord and my videos, my money is where my mouth is. I am picking up Bitcoin at these cheap price targets, but Bitcoin could still move down to 29,000, and if it does, that could bring a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt into the Kyber network market. So look, this is very simple. We flipped bearish on KNC when it was at $5. Why did we flip bearish? Because previously the 4 hourly EMA ribbons perfectly defined the uptrend, and even when we had a fake out to the downside, what we would have been looking for is, for this to constantly reject from the EMA ribbons and then break down into new lows. And we really didn't do that. We kind of just chopped beneath it, came down, and when we went to back test it, we just hopped back above it within the next couple of days or so. But that's not what we saw recently with KNC. Looking at this on the 4 hourly time frame, as soon as we flipped bearish, it was $5, and we kept coming down, and whenever we bounce back up, we come into these EMA ribbons and we get a rejection. What happens every single time after we get a rejection? We come down and make a new low. See, rejection, new low, rejection, new low, rejection, new low. What have we just done in the past 4 hours? We've just had another rejection. It's very, very simple. The trend is your friend until the end. Do not try and fight this. Do not try and put your hand out and catch a falling knife. You might end up with a hole in your hand. It is very, very dangerous what we're seeing right now. I do believe the crypto markets, the stock markets are all very close to their bottom. I could be wrong about that, but I feel much more confident sitting on the sidelines for Kyber Network until we have a confirmed breakout, rather than assume that I know that this green box here is going to be the bottom, because I'm not 100% convinced. I wouldn't even put DCA orders down at $1. If Bitcoin breaks super bearish, like my take on this is I think Bitcoin's going to move down to 29 and that's going to be the bottom and we have a huge bounce. But what happens if Bitcoin takes out 29? KNC and your altcoins are going to get absolutely rugged. So be very, very careful trading this. Every time frame is bearish, even the 1 hourly time frame. And to be honest, the 1 hourly time frame perfectly defines this downtrend. And it was literally only an hour ago that we fell out of this. So be very, very cautious. In my opinion, it would make sense to do something like this, come down and form a new low. I mean, I'm pulling this out of my ass at this point, but I mean, I could extrapolate. There's really not a line of best fit on this. Well, I mean, this is the line of best fit. There's not a great trend line on this, and I really wouldn't put too much weight on this. But, you know, hypothetically speaking, I do think KNC is going to move down a little bit more before we do find the bottom. So I'll be the first to update you when I think we're breaking bullish. At this moment in time, you know, the stock market's breaking down, the dollar's breaking up. I would be very, very cautious. That's all I've got for you for Kyber Network. As always, cowboy out. Peace.